Welcome to Drinkin Bros, presented by GhostBed.com. Yes, D'Anthony, the first White Claw's been cracked.
Oh, is that your first?
Yeah.
Come on. It's 2 o'clock, brother. It's the.
I didn't even see the one open behind your computer.
It's been over here for a moment.
I thought for sure we would have a nice thing of like, hey, man, we're going to crack some claws in the camera, but you've already started that party, my man.
I'm not really one for group activities.
That's not true. I've seen you in a few orgies.
Yeah, but like murder or orgies, that's it.
Okay, gotcha.
Otherwise, I'm pretty much going to be at home playing video games.
Yeah.
Watching TV with my dogs.
Yeah. Somebody said last night on the Dan Cummins episode, they were like, man, how high was Dan yesterday during that show? He was saying some weird shit, and I was like,
I'm always high, first of all.
Yeah.
And secondly,
I was going to say, that's just another day at the JOB.
Yeah, I say fucked up shit all day long.
Yeah.
Like
it's different, kids. No different.
It's way worse off the show because
worse.
I don't have to worry about what I'm saying.
No,
or
not at all.
Like if anybody care. Like here, I actually have to say stuff that people care about sometimes.
Occasionally,
but I'll take you down, just a weed fueled rant on string theory and the fourth dimension and interdimensional travel and quantum entanglement and all that shit, and it's just unnecessary.
Yeah, some people think it's necessary.
No, it's not.
Yeah, some people say it's not necessary for Joe Rogan to go 3 hours every day either, but he does. The full 3, that's tough for some.
He might be high for some of them.
Yes. Oh yeah, are you kidding me? And that huge cloud of smoke in front of me is brought to you by Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. The best weed on the planet in Vegas.
Yeah, that's from MedMen.
Yeah.
MedMen.
Yep.
MEDMEN. If you're in Vegas or the LA area, they have shops all over.
Goddamn right.
I'm sure they have some in Denver as well.
Reason why I say Vegas is the NFL draft was supposed to be there this weekend. Live at the Bellagio in the fountain. They were going to take little boats up through the fountain of the Bellagio.
Yeah, and I'm kind of glad it didn't happen.
Come on,
I thought that was going to be stupid. At least one person was going to drown. And I'm not saying that football players intrinsically can't swim.
Mm-hmm. It's the cameraman.
But like all those cameramen and all the electronics and all the cables in and around water, no, sir. I've seen too many fucking Final Destination movies at this point to even look at that and think it's a good idea.
Well, the wild thing is we were in Vegas when they announced that, and we were staying at the Bellagio overlooking that fountain. Mm-hmm. And I had said, I posted a video on my Instagram. I was like, holy shit, look at how drunk this guy is just walking through the fountain like this.
Yeah.
It turned out they were scouting for where the stage would be and all that other shit. But it was just a dude and waiters. And I was just like, all right. Cool. Yeah, some shit might have gone wrong, but it was estimated at 600,000 people.
Craig says, Dan, no, those are basketball players. That's racist.
That is racist. So no one talks like that, Craig.
You're out. And the Dolphins suck, by the way, and they're going to continue to suck. Oof. Just in case anybody's wondering what the Dolphins are going to look like next year, they're going to look like shit.
Dog shit.
But Tampa Bay might look all right. Things are developing down there.
Boy, we were not supposed to do this show today. But what happened was my bookie launched a entire arsenal of potential bets that we're going to guide you through here today. Look, we haven't gambled on sports in a long goddamn time. I've been in that casino a time or two.
I mean, I've been gambling on Madden.
Yeah.
Sports.
Yeah. That's about it. By the way, the point spreads have been changing in Madden.
That means a fuckload of people are betting on it because the conditions aren't changing. Not like no players have been reported injured.
No.
In the Madden game.
No, dude. And you're it's a computer game. So
that's how many people. That's how many people are betting though.
Crazy. So mybookie.com is doing this show, and they're doing tomorrow's all nights NFL draft special, and we're going to give you all of our bets beforehand, so that way you can bet before the draft with us and have an opportunity to watch it live. And then you can see our anguish unfold live if we win or lose. But I feel pretty good about these picks. Go to mybookie.com, promo code Drinkin Bros, doubles your deposits, or maybe it's 50%. And then the other one's Drinkin Bros Casino if you're playing blackjack and all that other stuff. Every weekend they're doing $10,000 tournaments in blackjack on there. And that's Drinkin Bros Casino, and that will 150% your deposit. So if you put in 100, you get 150 on top of it. But Drinkin Bros is the promo code for the draft tomorrow on mybookie.com. Get your money in, double it down. We're going fucking hard on this. One of the bets you're going to see tomorrow is involving Tampa Bay. Gronkowski is now back with Tom Brady. If you're a Patriots fan, how close are you to killing yourself right now?
Look, I talked to a couple of Patriots fans this week just because I was curious about what their feeling is. And I feel like they're hopeful, not necessarily for this year, but they're genuinely interested in seeing what Belichick can do. Like, people see this as an experiment in a lot of ways up in New England. So I'm kind of curious to see how it's going to go. I mean, look, they don't even know who their goddamn quarterback's going to be next year. So obviously,
we don't know either.
Who's the we?
You and I. I mean,
no one. I'm not talking about the fans. I'm talking about the New England Patriots organization.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't know who's going to be their quarterback. So it's like, who the fuck knows? We'll see what they do in this draft, but they don't really have a slew of great picks or anything. So, Belichick's not one of those guys who's historically gone out into the marketplace and spent a lot of money to bring talent there. He's been able to get good deals on people like Dixon, Randy Moss, etc., because Tom Brady was there.
Yes.
But Tom Brady is no longer there.
No.
So I don't know how in that situation, you essentially have to spend a lot of money to lure top-tier talent there, and that's not going to happen.
They don't spend a lot of money, one. Two, there is a rumor going around that they're potentially thinking about drafting Jaylen Hertz, either at the end of the first or in the second round. Jaylen Hertz does not fit in that system. Well, they've never had a quarterback.
Who knows what their system's going to be after this, right?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe Belichick looked, or maybe that's why Brady's gone. I mean, if you play that out, maybe it's like, well, that system is, it's low risk, high reward, I guess, but not at this point in Tom Brady's career. And can I go out and find another Tom Brady? The chances are slim, but I can find a guy who has most of the tools that a guy like Patrick Mahomes has. Not that anybody's that good,
right?
But Jaylen Hertz does a pretty good job of reading his pass protection. Damn, Jesus Christ, he has pass protection, and he's also fast as fuck. And with a support system, I think a guy like that might be able to do a little bit better than we've seen running quarterbacks in the past, because I think we've seen that Jaylen Hertz is pretty disciplined as a player as well. It's like, I don't know. I'm just trying to – I have no basis for any of this shit. I'm just thinking out loud because –
he's got a strong work ethic. Yeah. And so when I was at the LSU-Oklahoma game for the CFP, and I was sitting with all those NFL GMs, where we were sitting, you could see his pass progressions and reads and where he was going with the ball and just how off he was with all of his throws. Every GM in there, and granted, the Patriots GM was not in there. So, but, the 4 or 5 that were in there were like, dude, that's not an NFL quarterback, man. I mean, we're not drafting him. And one of them was the Colts GM, and they went out and got Phillip Rivers. So clearly, they didn't believe in anybody who was going to be left on the board after that.
Well, maybe they want Phillip Rivers to be there for 3 years while they get this kid sorted out, whomever it happens to be, right? I mean,
well, you still got Jacoby Brissett behind them, and
but he's 30 this year. Sorry,
but he's on an $18 million deal. So Colts have no need for a quarterback in this draft.
Not necessarily, but I mean, maybe they do, because I mean, if I'm them, I cut Brissett and draft a new quarterback, because I want to draft a quality quarterback that gets some time under Rivers, who's a future Hall of Famer, because that's the look. Name me one great quarterback who's won consistently for more than 2 or 3 years that started straight out of the gate. Name one.
I can't.
No, you cannot.
Mahomes sat out a year. Aaron Rodgers sat out 3 years.
Yep. There's only been one, and now I can't even remember who it was. Brinkus and I were talking about this the other day.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Lamar Jackson. I guess that's about it.
Well, now, but he's still very early in his career.
Yeah,
I mean, he's had 1.5 really good seasons.
But that's what these organizations expect, and they expected it last year with Danny Dimes. I mean, they started that motherfucker pretty quick for the Giants. I think everybody looks at Pat Mahomes now and says, the guy we draft should have this type of success right away.
But that's unrealistic. I mean, even Pat Mahomes sat behind Alex Smith, and say what you want to about Alex Smith, but
he was extremely accurate.
He was very consistent.
Yeah.
And he knew the game of football and he still knows the game of football very, very well. The ability to be a clipboard guy behind him for a year probably advanced. And look, Mahomes is a rare talent. He's a LeBron James. He's a Michael Jordan. Like there aren't people like him coming. There aren't more of him coming. There's no way. But there aren't more Steph Curry's coming either. But you see more and more people shooting from 10 feet behind the goddamn 3-point line.
Yeah.
And, you see, I mean, every now and again, I guess there is a Jordan, but Jordan's like Kobe and et cetera. People who play in his style is what I mean.
Sure.
Not like Kobe's not as good as Jordan, but and
speaking of Jordan, by the way, the quarterback that's gotten a lot of press is this Jordan Love out of Utah State, and they're saying he might move into the first round.
Well,
he appears to be Mahomes-ish.
Here's what Brinkus and I were talking about. Name me one number one pick quarterback that had a long storied career.
The only person that I can think of is Peyton Manning. Other than that, I can't.
That's because they don't exist.
Exactly. You look at Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield is exactly what I said he was going to be. The Browns fans were pissed. Now they're looking at trying to get a new quarterback in there.
I mean, Baker Mayfield should have been. It's not his fault. Like, you shouldn't be that disappointed in Baker Mayfield. You should be disappointed in any team that drafts a quarterback in the first half of the first round, pretty much, because none of them ever succeed.
So let's get to the big board then, shall we?
There are other ones, by the way.
We'll start with this one. Joe Burrow.
Cam Newton and Andrew Luck were also first-round picks, or number one picks. Jameis Winston and Jared Goff were also number one picks. They're guys.
Jameis Winston is still to be determined, so is Jared Goff.
I don't think so. But they're all guys that got up to 60% and then flatlined.
Yeah.
And they were all number one picks. The other number one picks, by the way, Jadeveon Clowney, who's a fucking superstar. Myles Garrett, superstar. And then, like, Kyler Murray and Baker Mayfield are the last two number one picks in the NFL draft. What in the fuck?
And we'll see what happens with Kyler Murray. Decent rookie year, and they got him DeAndre Hopkins in the offseason, so we'll see. So, looking at the big board, I think we both agree here that Joe Burrow is number one for Cincinnati.
Yeah, although he's obviously not the best player in the draft, but it is what it is.
What do you think his career is going to be like?
Joe Burrow, he's a smart guy. I mean, I'm not 100% sold on him because I think he's getting thrust into that position that doesn't bear a lot of fruit. Like, he's going to go in and have to make an impact immediately in Cincinnati. I don't think that's good for a young guy.
No, he's going to get killed there.
He's going to get sacked a lot, but he's also going to be, especially because of COVID, he's going to be learning a new offense on the fly. He will probably have some success for the first 4 or 5 games until people figure out what they're doing over there, and then he's just going to get wrecked for the rest of the year. I expect them to win maybe 5 to 7 games tops.
It's interesting that you brought up the COVID thing because today the New Orleans Saints players, it leaked that they weren't having OTAs, weren't having to report to any type of training camps.
Well, they're doing virtual training camps in some spots. I don't know what the fuck that means.
I don't either, man.
Like, I imagine a virtual training camp being like a parent homeschooling their kid right now.
Yeah.
Like, maybe there's a trainer that shows up, but you know how it works when you're homeschooling your kid, you've got other shit going on. So it's like, they get the education they get, okay? It's like trickle-down economics. I'm going to throw some information out there, and if some of it happens to land on them, then that's fine, but if not.
Yeah, our young producer, Alec, here is in film school. And he's doing online classes for directing right now.
Yeah.
It's impossible. It's impossible. It's the same thing with this virtual. Hey, it's a virtual camp. We're going to watch you work out.
If we had actual virtual reality, it would be different, right?
Yeah, we don't. Joe Burrow, to me, it's interesting. Like, again, sitting with those GMs when they were talking about him, they see him as an Alex Smith career. Mm-hmm. Accurate, smart, will not be the flashy superstar that a Patrick Mahomes will be, but he will be a good, strong, durable quarterback for many years. Mm-hmm. And for the city of Cincinnati, it's a kid going home to Ohio that will put asses in the seats, and that is extremely important due to the times that we are in right now.
It is, but it's not. I mean, it's a Band-Aid for both parties. It's a Band-Aid for him as a player to immediately get playing time,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a Band-Aid for them because their fan base is, desperate for some kind of fucking attention.
Yeah.
But 3 years from now, he's going to be burnt. He's going to be David Carr 2.0 in this situation.
I feel bad because that kid's awesome, man. And so I do agree with him. Taking him number one due to ticket sales, but he's not the best player in the draft. Best player in the draft is Chase Young, and he's. I got him going at number 2. You have him going at number 2 to the Washington Redskins.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why they would move. Honestly, like why?
I don't either.
Because you're going to get him on a rookie. Here's how you have to think about this. Do I draft? Is there a player out there in the NFL as good as Chase Young that we could bring in at that position and pay him? Yes, but you're going to pay him way more money, right?
Right.
Is there so you could
like
do that?
Jadeveon Clowning's asking for $17 million a year. It was 21.
Or you could draft Chase Young and get him on a rookie contract, which is not that much, even as a number 2 pick.
Oh yeah.
Comparatively, what he would be worth in the open market. So, I don't think the Redskins want to spend the money to make a point like that. And I don't think there's. Well, I mean, it depends on what they're lacking on defense, I suppose. Like Jeff Okudah is pretty goddamn good, and so is Isiah Simmons. Isiah Simmons is the most dynamic NFL player that we've seen in a very, very long time.
I've got him at twosies behind Chase Young, in my opinion. I've never. Look,
I don't think Chase Young is dynamic. Chase Young is a pass rusher, but Isiah Simmons can be a pass rusher. He can be a safety. He can be a linebacker. He can do all those things.
But if you're talking about changing the game, look at what both of those Bosa kids did the last 2 years for the Chargers and the 49ers. I mean, fuck, Nick took them to the goddamn Super Bowl. That defense took the 49ers to the Super Bowl. Yeah, he is a game changer like that, and everyone has said that he is better than both the Bosas, which would be crazy. I would love to see it in the NFL. It's tough in college because you can double and triple team these kids. Yeah. And if you watch that Clemson game, his last game in the playoffs, it's exactly what happened. Yeah. I mean, they threw two
you
or three
have
guys
to.
at
you have to.
just Chase Young alone. So, I see the Redskins taking him. There's been some talk that they would potentially draft a quarterback because the GM and the coach were still torn on Haskins. And, look, Dwayne Haskins had a great last 3 or 4 games. And I don't know why you wouldn't just start off with him. He was your first-round pick last year and see where that goes since you're drafting essentially all of Ohio State now. You got Terry McLaurin, Chase Young, and Dwayne Haskins. See what happens, and then ditch your quarterback if Haskins doesn't work out next year. But I wouldn't trade this pick if I were them. Selfishly, as a Falcons fan, I would love to see the Falcons trade up and get Chase Young.
Trade Matt Ryan. Get rid of his.
I'm fine with that too.
Yeah.
No, but look, you got Todd Gurley, you got Calvin Ridley, you obviously have Julio Jones, and then Matt Ryan. Look, his numbers were better than his MVP season last year. They are what they are, but we need defense, and I have a feeling the Falcons are going to trade up into the top 10. I just don't think they'll be able to get up to 2. But we'll get to
I don't
that.
think. I honestly don't think Washington would trade that spot. I wouldn't. I mean, Chase Young is a generational player. He's one of the best.
The only thing that they might do is if the Dolphins at 5 get real antsy that somebody might take Tua and try to draft up and try to trade up. But we'll see. Even at pick 3, look, to me it's clear cut that it should be Jeff Okudah.
No, number 3, you mean?
Yeah, for the Lions, he's the best corner. Man, I think I've seen since Jalen Ramsey. He had 0 penalties. Nobody even throws really his way. He's 6'1". He can body up with all of those big guys. Like this guy is the best cornerback I've seen in a long time. And
he's exceptional.
And they just lost, homeboy, Darius Slay. Yep. So it's like you got to have somebody to pick up for him. He'll fill in extremely nicely, and you'll be fine with that. There has been some chatter, though, the Lions wanting to get rid of Stafford and taking Tua. So that's the only thing with the Redskins of whether or not they draft up.
Why in the fuck would you get rid of Stafford and bring in Tua?
He had a broken back last year, and they're worried if he's going to come back from that.
Yeah, there's a million other quarterbacks other than fucking Tua.
And Tua, to me, has had a million broken bones. So, look, Stafford's great, man, and he's a fucking gamer. I don't think they're going to trade this. I think they'll take Okudah here, and that'll be that. The New York Giants are at pick 4, and they're probably looking to go offensive line at this point.
Maybe.
Barkley was getting killed last year. He had a shitty year till the end. Mm-hmm. He picked it up toward the end. You got that Danny Dimes kid. He looked pretty goddamn good. He just needs some protection.
Yeah.
This on CBS, they've got this Jedrick Wills Jr. going from Alabama there. And I'm not that convinced on that. I think it's going to be Tristan Wirfs, that kid out of Iowa. You're welcome, Craig Dulesky.
You're talking about number 4?
Yep.
I've got Isiah Simmons from Clemson going there.
Oh, to the Giants.
Yep. I get that they need some offensive line help, but man, this guy's so good.
I know. I love him. I love him.
Like, I think over the course of his career, he might be as impactful as Chase Young, just because of how many different things he can do.
Yeah.
He's an incredible athlete, but it's aside from just being an athlete, like, he was essentially Clemson's defensive captain, playing 3 different positions. Like that. I don't know if, for those of you that haven't played football before, reading the offense and then communicating that to your whole team and that whole thing while recognizing where you are on the field, like as a defensive player, recognizing where you are in the field and the space that you have to cover and being aware of all that shit all at the same time is not easy.
Dude, we talked about this when we were spotlighting that Clemson-Ohio State playoff game. And all eyes were on him the entire game for me. That guy was everywhere. Yeah. I mean, he killed Ohio State. He's great. I love him. They just need so many things on the Giants. It's like,
yeah, but I mean, do
you protect your quarterback in Barkley, or do you try to go after a defensive player here? And it's tough.
I think you take the best player available.
I'm with you. The Giants don't often do that.
No, they're fucking terrible. They should have drafted Haskins last year.
That's what I think. But, they went with Danny Dimes, and look, we'll see how he does next year. But they need so much help. I wonder if they go offensive line, and I also wonder if the Dolphins trade up because they're afraid they're going to lose Tua. Which, fuck this guy.
I don't even think the Dolphins are going to take Tua.
Really? What do you got? You think Herbert? You think it's going to be Herbert?
I do.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a bombshell.
It's not a bombshell. Mel Kiper said it 2 weeks ago. But the more I think about it, the more it makes sense to me.
I'm going to go with Tua for Miami here at 5. I think this kid has been their pick for fucking 2 years. They tanked all these games for him.
Did they? Like, who in the organization ever said they tanked for Tua? They tanked for a high draft pick so they could get a quarterback.
That was the sign that all the fans were holding
the
up.
Fans,
for Tua. Yeah.
But the fans don't represent the organization.
They don't.
If that was true, then the fucking Bills would be great all the time.
It might be great, though.
The Cowboys would have fucking murdered Dak Prescott and gotten rid of, what's their last coach's name? The one that just got fired. What's his name?
Oh, Jason Garrett.
Yeah, that guy would have been gone after his second year in the league.
Yeah,
right?
You know where he's at now.
No, he's in college.
Giants.
Oh, he's an offensive coordinator. Yeah, it's really funny. I mean, Danny Dimes doesn't throw the ball 5 feet wide on every out that he ever throws, so I'm pretty sure.
Look,
he's going to be better than Dak Prescott at some point.
I agree with you, but the Dolphins are the Dolphins, and I think they go Tua here, and
oh god,
and it's going to be an absolute shit show for them for years and years to come, and I'm here for all of it. I can't wait. I am so excited. By the way, sign up for Drinkin Bros Sports on Facebook. It's a private group. Tomorrow during the draft, we will be calling you. So just we'll put up a private post. Just put your number in there and your favorite team, and we'll call you after these picks are made and ask you what you think. And look, Craig Dulesky, you've been a day one homie. I'm going to ask you what you think of Tua being drafted at 5, and you let me know. You let me know. So you got Herbert?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Chargers are at 6 here. Probably going offensive line, I would imagine.
I've got to go. The Chargers are going to draft a quarterback this year.
I want them to.
I don't think
it's Tyrod Taylor right now.
Yeah, I don't think they should in the first round. To be honest, because second and third round quarterbacks have way better careers than first round quarterbacks for the most part, at least relative to their costs and stuff like that. I mean, Tom Brady was like a 5th round pick for Christ's sake, or 6th,
7th, I think,
something like that. So it's like that shit doesn't really matter. If the Chargers are going to take a quarterback, and I believe that, and again, this is just I'm following the trail, right? If Herbert is off the board, or if Tua is off the board, if Herbert is off the board and Tua is left, the Chargers have to take Tua. He's the second best quarterback in the draft this year, right? If they're set on drafting a quarterback, then they have to take Tua next, right? They have to take that shot unless the medical reports aren't good, which we haven't heard about that yet.
Yeah.
No, they're keeping that really tight-lipped, but I know some teams have requested additional medical shit from him.
So I'll say this. I think if somehow you're right and Herbert goes to the Dolphins, I think the Chargers will take Tua here. And that's my guess for this. Otherwise, I think they probably go offensive line.
Probably Tristan
Wirfs. You still have great running. You've got Austin Eckler there. You got Keenan Allen there. I mean, you have some decent pieces. They have a great defense too.
This is a rebuilding year.
Yeah, but you have a decent defense. Like, you're just kind of missing a quarterback, a plug and play guy, and you might be a 9-7 team, maybe. You're in a new stadium. You still got that to think of. You still got to draw some fans out. Yeah, man. If Tua is left, yes, I think he goes to the Chargers. If not, I think they're going offensive line. And then, look, if somehow Isiah Simmons is still on the board here, because I'm with you and I agree with you on Isiah Simmons. The Carolina Panthers at 7. Love linebackers. Luke Kuechly is retired now. Obviously, Julius Peppers is gone. They got to put a guy there. That's the guy there. He's a Carolina guy. So,
It depends on who's left. Yeah, you're right. I mean, if Carolina is absolutely going to take a defensive player, because they're in rebuild mode offensively, and you don't go out and start, getting tackles with your first round pick when you need.
Right.
You know what I mean? But Isiah Simmons, if he's still available, for sure, they're going to take him there. If Jeff Okudah's available, they're going to take him. Whoever the best defensive player on the board is, I would assume.
Yeah.
Let's see, Derek Brown from Auburn is up there.
I've got Derek Brown going next to the Jaguars. I'd personally love to see the Jaguars take like Jerry Jeudy and just light it up for Minshew.
That's what I've got Jerry Jeudy at 9.
Go all in for Minshew would be great. But they still need some help on defense. Lost a few guys. So we'll see. And then I think the Falcons trade up into the top 10. They were very high on this guy named C.J. Henderson, this cornerback out of Florida. He's fine. But if you're going to trade into the top 10, let's go up to 3 and get Okudah and call it a day. But that's not going to happen. I don't think they have the assets to do it.
I mean, they would have to, I don't know what they have that they could trade for a number 3 pick, to be honest. Honestly, who would they trade? Even Matt.
You'd have to give up multiple.
Matt Ryan would get a second round pick probably because you're taking on that whole contract.
You'd have to give up multiple picks. They did it a few years ago with Julio, and I think they gave up 3 first rounds for Julio to move up and get him Julio Jones.
I would give up 3 first rounders for Chase Young. I don't know about Jeff Okudah. Probably. I don't know.
You're right. So I would do it for Chase Young, not Okudah.
Maybe Isiah Simmons too, but not Okudah. And it's just because a cornerback is less impactful.
Right.
A cornerback is not going to help your run game. But Isiah Simmons is a linebacker, is going to help run and pass, and so is a defensive tackle, right? So, yeah.
Because Arizona's in that slot right now, and now we're starting to get it. They're the 8th pick, right? You're starting to get into these top-tiered wide receivers where they will go Jerry Jeudy, CeeDee Lamb, all these guys. They don't need that. They don't really need that spot, and they're certainly not going to draft a running back that high.
I think Arizona's going to get an offensive tackle of some sort.
They need to.
Tristan Wirfs from Iowa is the best on the board right now.
Correct. If he's still there.
He'll be, I mean, you never know. Some teams get fucking
real handsy. This is where shit gets real jittery.
Especially with offensive tackles. And this one's going to be different. I don't know how this is going to be different because I don't know if the draft teams are all going to be in the same place or if they're going to be virtual and then communicating virtually with the league. I don't know how that setup's going to look like.
I can tell you what it is. So there was a fan who took a picture of a truck outside of the owner's house. So there's going to be IT guys out in the streets of the houses.
They just have a cow sell on wheels.
Yeah. And that's what they're going to do to help this out. We've heard through the grapevine there will be some surprises tomorrow night. And they've been sending out, the NFL itself has been sending out camera packages and mics to not only the GMs and the some of the players, because they might come in and do the draft, but also some celebrities. And then Monday, they did a test run, and John Elway from the Broncos was like, it was pretty good. Like we did it. They did a fake mock draft of like all of their favorite players. So they didn't use any current players that are up. They just did like Deion Sanders, you know, like for each team, just to see how it would work, sound, video quality, all that stuff. Elway said there was a few hiccups, but he goes, for the most part, 90% of it went pretty goddamn smoothly. So we'll see. Now, what I'm curious is when people start calling other people for trades and shit, how is that going to work out? And then trying to get that in through the league office.
I mean, how much time are you on the clock after the previous pick?
Man.
Like 4 minutes or some shit?
No, I think it's longer, man. I mean, I want to say it feels like 15, but that's not right. The draft would go on for fucking 90 hours. I think it's 5.
10 minutes.
That's 10. All right.
Then 7 in the second round, 5 in the third through 6th, and 4 minutes in the 7th round.
Yeah.
So 10 minutes. I mean, that's not a lot of time to be making phone calls. Those people are going to be like, here's the thing if you're in the draft room and you want to make a deal with Tampa Bay, I can just walk over there and be like, hey guys, let's make a deal. But let's say Tampa Bay in this scenario drafted first and I'm at like 30 or some shit.
Yeah.
And I want to make a trade with them, and they're like, they're doing their thing already, or they're checked out working on their plan for their next draft pick, and nobody's really paying attention to their phone. You can't get a hold of somebody.
Yeah.
That trade just doesn't happen. I guarantee you some weird shit's going to happen this year.
Of course. And the Saints are doing it at a craft brewery in New Orleans. That's where they're going to do their draft headquarters from. Look, who knows what's going to happen, but you start peeking down at 10 here. Jerry Jeudy would look sexy in a Broncos uniform. They need the wide receivers. If he falls to 10, I'm with you. I'd like to see the fucking Jaguars go all in and get Jerry Jeudy. Light it up for Minshew.
I think they will, to be honest.
Maybe. And then, we'll head down to some of the superstars. Look, the Jets are at, what are they at? 12 here.
11.
Yeah, 11. Probably offensive line.
You skipped the Browns at 10.
Did I skip the Browns?
But they're going to take offensive linemen as well. That 10-11 combination is going to be Becton from Louisville and Will.
I'll tell you why I skipped the Browns. Alabama. I think they're going to trade this pick. I don't think they need it.
They need offensive line help.
They do, but I think they can trade down and still get it.
But what are they going to get for the trade?
Depends. It depends on how desperate people are this year. And like this is going I'm telling you, this is going to be one of those years. And I'm sure my bookie will have this when we get to them. Mm-hmm. I bet you there's going to be like 4 or 5 trades in this round, just because people haven't been around each other. You're going to start to get real fucking handsy.
Yeah.
The excitement of the draft is going to happen. You're not in the same room, and I think you're going to see some weird shit this year. I really do. I think the Browns trade out of it. I'm not really sure what else they need besides a fucking quarterback.
The Browns?
They kept Kareem Hunt.
They need at least one more offensive lineman and a quarterback.
Yeah.
But they could get both in this draft.
Yeah. So if I'm the Browns, is there anybody sexy enough out there? Look, you would say at 10, yeah, take Jerry Jeudy or CeeDee Lamb or somebody like that. But they have great running backs. They've got Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
They have the best wide receivers you could possibly have.
Yeah, they definitely
Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis Landry.
They don't need a skill position player there.
And they got Austin Hooper as their fucking tight end. How much better could you possibly be?
I could see maybe C.J. Henderson or somebody like that if they wanted to go defense, but I don't know. I don't think they would take a skill position.
Yeah, if they had a Tom Brady there, it'd be over. I'd put the Browns in the Super Bowl. Or close to it. I mean, you still got to deal with the Chiefs, but
they don't. So
and then you got the Jets at 11. Look, the Jets need everything. Is there a chance that they can just draft everything and just say, hey, we need all of the help?
No, I mean, the Jets are essentially an expansion team right now.
Yeah, I think
they're playing with leftovers from other teams.
I think they're all in on Darnold, so you probably go offensive line here. So
I guess that makes sense for them. I mean,
you got a block for Le'Veon Bell too.
Yeah,
God damn it, that guy barely hit 50 yards every game last year.
Yeah, he had a bad year. I mean, not necessarily through his own doing either. I don't even think, what did he have, like 600 yards or some shit?
Yeah.
789. That's
you got the Raiders at 12. Look, if CeeDee Lamb is on the board, I've heard 12 or 13. I've heard if San Francisco, if he falls to San Francisco, I heard San Francisco will keep this pick and draft CeeDee Lamb. If they don't, the San Francisco might trade out of this.
Out of 13?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe.
This was that pick from the Colts that they got, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, the 49ers could definitely use some more talent on offense. I just don't know if Garoppolo is the guy to get him the ball anyways.
You need somebody. They lost Sanders, so he's at Emmanuel Sanders is now at the Saints. You need a big play receiver. The good thing is this is the deepest draft for receivers maybe ever. There's 6 that'll probably go in the first round, and that'll be another bet on my bookie. I guarantee it.
Yeah, I mean, but
great receivers.
I don't know if they're going to be that fixated on that, to be honest, because teams like theirs with guys who aren't marquee receivers but have a guy like Kittle and a running game like they have and a defense like they have consistently won. Not just won games, but at the championship level in the NFL. Tampa Bay back in the day, fucking Ravens.
Yeah.
And a number of organizations that have used that formula to win. And it kind of seems like that's what San Francisco is going all in on. Like they brought Richard Sherman over. They spent their number 1 pick on Bosa. I mean, they've done a lot to bolster their defense and not that much offensively. I mean, they brought over fucking Emmanuel Lewis from what's his name? The short kid? What's the name of the show?
Webster,
yeah. They brought over Webster.
George
I was calling that
Papadopoulos.
because that Emmanuel is a terrible name for a grown man.
But he never grew. So
no, I'm talking about the one that's in the NFL. But they've got Deebo Samuel and I don't know if they go out and spend a first-round pick. I don't know. I guess it depends on how much better they think they can get at which position.
Man.
Like, can their defense get that much better by bringing in another really great defensive player? Maybe, but maybe it's a marginal difference in defensive capability where you can make a major impact on the offensive side. But it's
to me,
I just don't know if Garoppolo's the guy that you can.
I agree, but they're obviously all in on him. And they did an interview yesterday, Lynch, their GM, and he just said, "Look, we'd considered Brady for maybe 10 seconds, but we ultimately decided to stay with Garoppolo. I think if you've got to get him a deep threat, and look,
do you though? Like, does he throw the ball deep? If you're committing to this style of offense, is what I'm saying. You don't go out and get a Randy Moss. It doesn't make any sense
because
you can't get the ball
somehow. Everybody's going to know you're going to run the ball next year.
They knew all last year. Like they ran the ball. He won a game handily. And he only threw 8 passes in it, a playoff game.
I think if CeeDee Lamb or Judy's still around,
there's no way Judy's going to still be there.
No way. But if they are somehow, you have to go them. A lot of people are saying is Henry Ruggs III out of Alabama is the best wide receiver in the draft too. So like he's still going to be available.
Jerry Jeudy is the best wide receiver in the draft.
I'll go CeeDee Lamb on this for this year. He's 6'2", 200. That guy in real life was a monster. So I'm gonna say CeeDee Lamb for the long haul here, but I don't think you can go wrong with either of them, to be honest with you. And then you got Ruggs out of Alabama as well. That guy's still around. If he's because I think the Eagles might trade up too. Or trade back to get one of these wide receivers. They need some wide receivers.
I've got them taking Ruggs at 21, but I don't know if he's going to be there.
I don't either. So they might trade up, but
you never know. By the way, the people who do these mock drafts for they're usually about 26% accurate. That's how difficult.
They're never.
That's how difficult it is to pick these because it's like doing a fucking March Madness bracket. Like one thing that happens fucks up all your down ballot
one
stuff.
Pick will fuck up the rest of it. So
that's why I gamble on individual shit like prop bets on my bookie instead of like gambling on who's going to get picked where necessarily. The over-unders are good.
Right.
Like I know that if there was an over-under on Chase Young pick-wise and it was 2.5, I would absolutely take the under because there's no way he's not getting picked first or second.
Yeah.
There's no way.
And that will be on there. I guarantee it. Justin Jefferson is still in this draft. I mean, goddamn, loaded with wide receivers. Going down the rest of the draft here, Patrick Queen is still on the board. The linebacker out of LSU, he's still there.
Chason or Chasen, I don't know how you say his name. Chason's
still there.
Chasen Statham.
A lot of people are saying that Jordan Love kid will sneak into the first round. maybe that's where the Chargers trade
I think
into,
Jordan Love gets taken in the first round, probably by either if the Dolphins are smart, they take him with their second pick, which is the 17th or 18th pick or whatever the fuck it is, instead of taking Tua at 5, and they take somebody else at 5.
Oh, I agree. 100%. Yeah, I agree.
Like take Isiah Simmons or whomever's on the board, Jerry Jeudy, whoever it is, and then take Jordan Love at 18. That makes way more fucking sense. Please don't take Tua at number 5.
Yeah. And then to round it out, the Chiefs are the last pick in this draft. To me, Chiefs just you're missing a running back, and that's it. You're returning virtually all your starters. And the one position that was not shored up completely last year was the running back position. They just kept feeding in two different Williams, and then LaShawn McCoy, who's 1,000 years old. If I'm KC, I look at if Taylor's still there out of Wisconsin or J.K. Dobbins,
Edwards, Hilaire, any of those guys.
There's
a ton of running backs that probably won't start coming off the board until like the 21st, 22nd pick.
Easily. So if you're the Chiefs, it is the rich get richer, man, because they're all going to be there, and that's really the only position they need. I mean, the rest of it's a fucking joke for these guys, and you're going to be hard pressed not to pick the Chiefs next year, unless something physically happens to Mahomes.
I think we need to wait and see what happens in Tampa Bay. I think that Tom Brady is a fisherman right now. I think he's in a lot of people's ears right now, trying to get him to come down there.
Well, look, if you're looking at it from an offensive standpoint,
like Josh Gordon, for example, is available to play, and now the NFL doesn't test for weed anymore.
He is, but look, you have Mike Evans, you have Chris Godwin. You now have Gronkowski. They still have O.J. Howard. I don't know if they're going to trade him on draft night or what they're going to do with that.
They absolutely have. Well, I don't know. I guess it depends.
Brady's used to run a lot of those two tight end sets up in New England. So
maybe he asked for that. Who knows?
But if they keep those guys, you probably don't need it. The only thing they need is a sturdy running back. Ronald Jones isn't going to do it.
No. I mean, Frank Gore's out there. He's 600 years old.
But he'll give you 1,000.
Yeah.
Give you 1,000 yards.
Technically, I believe, isn't Marshawn Lynch a free agent right now?
Yes, he is.
I mean, if anybody could talk him into coming to play,
back for the playoffs,
it would be him.
Yeah.
It would be Brady. I don't know. Let me look and see who unsigned free agents. I mean, Devonta Freeman's out there.
Devonta Freeman's out there that you could look. You could go. You could try to trade with Jacksonville.
Carlos
for
Hyde's
Fournette.
out there.
They're trying to get rid of Fournette right now.
Yeah,
Leonard Fournette. So
there's
we'll see.
there's also a lot in the draft. So I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Even in that second round, you can grab J.K. Dobbins or one of those guys. So we'll see. Again, you can bet with us or against us on mybookie.com. Promo code Drinkin Bros doubles the deposit. And we're going to get to some of these over-unders and all the draft picks right now after we talk about KillCliff.com. KillCliffCBD.com. Promo code Drinkin Bros, 30% off and free shipping, dude, on all of these cans at KillCliffCBD.com. Here we go, D'Anthony. Let's go to the...
Tampa Bay's got the 14th pick. They could easily get one of those top-tier running backs right there.
They wanted to. That's a little early, though.
They may trade down.
Yeah.
And take one of those guys in the mid-20s.
These
maybe.
Madden picks are hilarious.
Who's trying to come up right now?
Falcons are trying to come up. Dolphins might try to come up. So we'll get to I'll tell you what, we'll get to the draft props because this will help you out.
Yeah.
All right. First one on the board at mybookie.com. And we will be betting all of these and then posting them in Drinkin Bros Sports. Sign up, dude. It's free. Just don't be a cunt. That's the only rule. Will Isiah Simmons be drafted over under 6.5?
Under.
I agree. And that is not, this is going to shock you. That is not the favorite in this. So it's plus 100 if you're going under 6.5. And it's minus 140 if you're going over 6.5. So they've got him at 7, man. Clearly Vegas has them at 7, which is crazy to me. I'm with you. He's probably the second best player in this draft.
If they have him at 7, that is the Panthers. And if he's available at 7, they are absolutely going to take him.
That's wild because we didn't look at this before. No, and that's what I said. Hey, man, Carolina's going to grab him at 7. We'll see what happens.
There's also no fucking way he's still going to be on the board by then.
And I agree, man. Betting wise, which is a different story than what I think, or my hopes and dreams are for my teams or other teams. I'm only going to look at the rest of this from a gambling standpoint. I am taking the under here. I don't think there's any fucking way he gets past 6.
I mean, that would be a huge mistake.
Crazy. It'd be crazy to me. So I'm going to take the under on 6.5 for Isiah Simmons on mybookie.com. All of these bets, by the way, that we're talking about today are on mybookie.com. Arizona Cardinals, first selection. In any round, by the way. Offensive player or a defensive player?
Offensive tackle.
Okay.
For sure.
So offense is
They have to. I mean, there's no fucking... What else are they going to do? There's no way.
Offense is at minus 450. I don't know what their defense
Where are you
like.
seeing this? I don't see this.
To be honest, I'm on my bookie.
I know that.
Under the prop bets for the NFL draft. It depends on who's on the board here, man. I mean, look, if there's a great DB out there, the Cardinals also need defensive help, man.
Yeah, but I mean, they need their franchise quarterback that they spent a fuckload of money on to not get killed.
Yeah.
Also,
I agree. So it's plus 280 if you're going defensive player here. Cleveland Browns, first selection, any round. Offensive
I don't
player,
see where you are right now.
Or
Because if
defensive
I'm
player.
having trouble finding it, then so are they. So I clicked on the betting lines, then NFL odds 2020 draft, and then NFL draft props 2020. But this is not the order I'm seeing it in. Like I'm seeing it in a much different order than what you're calling it out. And
I'm on the NFL. I had it up from last night or this morning. So look, it's always changing. Go to the NFL is where I clicked it on and featured. It's under featured in the NFL. With the Cleveland Browns, an offensive player is minus 600 for the Cleveland Browns. What do they need? What do they need is the question.
I mean, an offensive tackle.
Yes.
I guess. Shit.
Or defense, like that is minus 600 is a lot. I mean, that is the overwhelming favorite.
I think they're going to take an offensive tackle for sure.
All right,
but it's because
I do too.
I don't think they're right to do that, but I didn't think they were right to draft Mayfield. So it's like now you're just doubling down on your mistake by doing that. Probably.
Okay.
Although it's never a bad idea to take an offensive lineman that's a great offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Like they've been drafted number 1 as many times as any other position. So.
I agree. And if you have a great offensive line, look at fucking Dak Prescott. I mean, he's able to ask for a $40 million a year deal because he's got a great offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like he's that fucking great. This next one is for you, Dan. When will Justin Herbert be drafted? Over, under 5.5.
I don't know if I would gamble on this because you're essentially gambling on the incompetence of the Miami Dolphins organization. So it's like, and you're asking me to bet on whether or not I think the Dolphins are incompetent. I'm going to say over because they're incompetent. Absolutely.
So what they're saying is they think it'll go past 6 here. It's close. This is a 50-50 coin toss pretty much on this bet.
It's not. They're fucking dumb.
I think they're taking Tua, so I'm going to go over 5.5 in this and say he goes probably 6 or 7. When will CeeDee Lamb be drafted? Over, under 12.5. It's funny, man. I had him going at 13. The over is at plus 140. Man, that's tough because you could definitely draft up at 12 and grab him if Jerry Jeudy goes at 9. I'll stick with 13 and say he goes to I'm going to say he goes at 13. Take the over on this.
He's going to San Francisco?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so, probably. I mean, it would then be him and Deebo Samuel there.
He's so good, though. I could see somebody moving up to 12 and getting him.
Maybe, but I think the Raiders have shown interest in the C.J. Henderson kid. So I don't know if they're stunting or what.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You never know with those assholes. And they keep in mind the Raiders also have the 19th pick. So they can do some dynamic picking right there.
Oh yeah, look, man. Shit. You can get Ruggs, you can get anybody down there. This is a good one. When will Jeff Okudah be drafted? Over under 4.5. I'm gonna hammer this as the under.
Yeah, I think he's going third.
Same here. I think he's going third. You'd be a fucking idiot not to do that. Unless somebody trades up, maybe that's why this is on the board with Detroit.
Maybe if somebody's looking for something specific, but honestly, I would take Young, Okudah, and Simmons before I would take Burrow.
Same. But I've got Burrow as Burrow's.
He's a quarterback. He should be drafted 15th or lower.
He's not in my top 15
in the best case scenario.
sure,
You should never draft a quarterback that high.
No,
ever. Like if there's only one example of it really working out, like of all the quarterbacks who've been drafted number one, Peyton Manning's the only one that's ever won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'd rather have Judy, CeeDee Lamb, all these guys than him.
Because you just don't know that.
You don't know.
It's this.
Not that he's not great. He's great. He had the best year a college quarterback has had in the history.
Yeah,
of
but
college.
this is just bad business because we already know from 100 years of football that it takes time for a quarterback to develop.
Yeah.
Past college, right? It takes time. No one comes in and is like successful right away, and if they are, their second year sucks. Right. Every single fucking time except for Patrick Mahomes. But you can't make decisions based on the anomaly. You make decisions based on the normalcy of life. You know what I mean? Like that's what data is. You're making predictions. It's science.
Yeah.
I'm taking all the data and making an educated guess on what I think is going to happen. And if you've seen the data for the last 100 years and you still think that a number one draft pick quarterback is worth the pick, you're a fucking dum-dum.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't make any sense. The data does not support that move at all. But they'll do it.
Total Alabama players drafted in the first round. Over under 5.5. I'm going to say under. It's going to be under. They're not going to have 6 first-round picks.
I'm looking at this board. So Judy and Wills, the offensive tackle.
Ruggs.
Xavier McKinney, Ruggs, and that's not the first round, though. No, there's no way. Under.
Yeah.
Like I don't even see any other players on their board that could potentially.
I've got it at
the
5.
first round.
And that's where I leave it here. So Tua is obviously Alabama. So I've got it at 5. I do not have it at 6. So I've got the under here at 5.5. Next up is Auburn players drafted in round 1. Over 1.5. So essentially,
I think it's people are counting on that other kid, the cornerback. I can't say his name.
Yeah,
it's a guy. He's got a long ass last name. Yeah. People are counting on him getting taken in the late first round, but that shit never happens because all it takes for somebody that's a late first round to get bounced out of the first round is one dum-dum to make some wild-ass pick.
That's it.
You know
or
I mean?
A trade.
Yeah. Anything can happen. So, no, I would not gamble on that.
So, I'm taking the under. I'm going to say 1. 1 we know for sure. It would take a Christmas miracle for that second one. So, I'm going to take the under at 1.5 for Auburn players drafted. Total Big Ten players drafted in round 1. Over 5.5, under 5.5. Are they counting Joe Burrow at Ohio State? What are they doing with this, do you think? No, probably not, right?
No, because he didn't play football there.
He did play. A couple plays, but got a degree from there, but didn't.
No one cares about that.
Didn't play there.
No one.
So 5.5.
Literally, no one cares about that.
I'm gonna hit the over on this.
Is anybody coming out of Michigan?
Is that a school anymore? Does that team still play?
They still produce pretty good defensive players.
They do. I'm gonna take the over on this one. I'll say 6. Look, Ohio State's got Chase Young.
Iowa's got a couple.
Yeah, Wirfs, Chase Young, Okudah.
Does
Wirfs.
Penn State got any? I don't think they have anybody in this draft.
I don't think they have anybody in the first round.
Not in the first round, yeah. But still,
yeah.
I think with Ohio State, Iowa
6. Because I think there's a shot that Dobbins sneaks in there towards the end.
I think he's a high second round pick.
Dobbins
either
or
one of
Taylor.
those. Yeah,
and both of those are Big Ten guys out of Wisconsin. So
one of those will probably get taken at the end of the first round.
And I think that's why this over under exists is because of those two guys specifically, and whether or not you think they will get into the first round. I personally believe that one of them will, and that will push this to the over. So I'm going to take over on Big Ten players at 5.5. Next up, we got total Big 12 players drafted in round 1. The over is 3.5 in this one, and the under is 3.5, and those are both at minus 120. So this is a toss-up for them. Man,
I don't know.
That's a tough one, man.
Well,
Because there's no defensive players being
It's
drafted
3.5.
out of the Big 12.
It's 3.5. You said?
Yeah, it's 3.5. Because look, there probably is no defensive players, right?
No.
Coming out of the Big 12 in the first round.
Not unless it's a fucking.
In all sincerity, and we all know the
maybe
Big 12
a
are the
safety
place.
or a linebacker, but not an impact, not a first rounder. No. Short answer is no. Baylor, no.
Nothing, right?
Does UT have somebody coming out?
Not to my knowledge, man. I'm taking.
You never know with these wild ass first round picks sometimes, but the Big 12 is not that deep.
Yeah, and they're saying potentially Penn State could have Uter Gross Matos come off at maybe to the Colts at 31, maybe. But if they were to trade out of that pick, with the 49ers, who knows, man. The Big 10, I'm going over. The Big 12, I'm not. I'm taking the under on this one. The next one up is total Clemson players drafted in round 1. Over under is 1.5.
It's over.
Who's the second guy?
God, what the fuck's his name? I was just reading his name. Hang on a sec. Fuck out of here. AJ Terrell, cornerback. He's a mid to late first round guy.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right.
I think. Kuiper's got him going 24th to the Saints. That would make sense to me.
Okay.
Because they definitely need some help on defense, and he is very, very good. But also T. Higgins could go in the first round as well. So you've got like a little buffer. I think 1.5.
Correct.
I think 1.5 is actually low for this.
Yeah. T. Higgins to me is more probable. God, there's so many fucking great wide receivers in this draft. I'm going to take the over on Clemson at 1.5, and that is currently at minus 500. So they're expecting that.
What, over?
Yeah, they're expecting the over in that, and I am too. So I'm going to take that. Total Georgia players drafted in round 1. The over is 1.5. This is a good one because look, DeAndre Swift is currently ranked as the best running back in this draft class.
Yeah.
That is yet another guy the Chiefs could take if
you
he's
said
still
the
there.
over. It's 1.5. I would say over, for sure.
Who is the second guy out of Georgia?
Andrew Thomas, their offensive tackle. He's like the third-ranked offensive tackle. So
okay,
he's definitely one of the first round.
So by this bet, then here's what they're saying is they don't know if DeAndre Swift is a first-round draft choice.
It's always. There have been plenty of drafts where there haven't even been people who qualify technically to be drafted first or in the first round that are running backs, and everybody up until the night of the draft says, "Yeah, I don't think there will be any running backs taken in the draft." And it's the same thing as every fucking fantasy league you've ever been in. Some dum moves up and takes it's I don't know. It is what it is. Somebody will take. I think 2 running backs at least will get taken in the first round.
I do too. So I'm going to take this over here because I don't see DeAndre Swift going in the second. That would be bananas to me.
I think him and either Hilaire or Dobbins from LSU and Ohio State.
You still have Taylor out there from Wisconsin too, man.
Yeah.
I'm
Taylor's got a lot of miles on his legs though. I worry. I think NFL teams are worried about him.
God, that guy is.
He's not fucking Terrell Davis. You know what I mean? Like he's a stud, but he's not like he's got a lot of fucking hard years on him.
Monster combine though.
Yeah,
he did.
That's true. Yeah,
we'll see. But I'm gonna say I'm gonna take the over on this.
I mean, if 4 running backs went in the first round with those 4 guys, I would not be surprised, and I wouldn't be mad about it either. I mean, those are good fucking players.
Total LSU players drafted in round 1. Over under is 5.5. I've got this at 5. So I understand why they're doing this. They're doing this for the same reason they did it for Georgia and Ohio State. It's whether or not, because Ohio State is up next, it's whether or not you believe that Hilaire is going to get drafted. Because there's going to be 5 players drafted from LSU. You got Burrow, Jefferson, Queen,
Chazon.
Yeah, Chazon.
Fulton.
So it's Hilaire. That's the only logical reason for this bet and this over-under. And
yeah, but I mean, look, a guy like Hilaire who didn't. I don't think any of these guys made themselves stand out enough to guarantee a first-round pick. Like
I don't either. I'm going to take the under and say it's 5. And I'll say it's 5 on the dot on this one. And the over-under is 5.5. I'm going to say the under on LSU. You think Hilaire sneaks in there?
No, but I think there's an outside shot that Fulton could, but that still would be 5. That would be 5. I think it's 4.
Okay.
To be honest, unless something changes. But there's also Delpit, their safety is very good. And he's the only problem for him is that safeties in the first round, if you're a safety and you get drafted in the first round, often it's like mid to late, right? They don't take those guys very high very often. And again, you're just like, you got that slinky effect, the accordion effect. If anything happens in front of you, it gets pushed out. I don't think either one. I think it's 4 probably.
Okay. Total Ohio State players drafted in round 1. Again, not counting Burrow. Totally kidding, LSU fans. You won the title, and you were the greatest team of all time last year. So I'm giving you your props, LSU fans.
Is it 2.5?
It's 2.5.
Yeah, because Dobbins.
Yeah. Same way.
No, I would say.
There's Okudah and Chaser guarantees. That's set in stone. We're fine with that. It depends on whether Dobbins sneaks in there.
Well, here's the deal. If you take that bet, then you should just take the bet on all those guys, because somebody's going to fucking win. It's like
somebody is, yeah.
There's going to be a minimum of 2 running backs taken in the first round.
Yeah, and look, if you're going by Mel Kiper's big board, right?
Yeah.
He's got Swift as number 1 in this. And look, I mean, you still have Hilaire and fucking Dobbins and Taylor. Like, who knows at that point? It's at minus 200. So my bookie is obviously pretty certain that it is only going to be 2, and I'm going to lean that way. I'm going to say the under as well. I don't know if Dobbins sneaks in there, especially. Look, Taylor had a monster combine, so I don't think Dobbins did it. There's some of these guys that I don't think got to do because they were going to have pro days at their college and they didn't get to do it. So Taylor did. They'll probably sneak Taylor in before Dobbins. So I'm going to say the under here for Ohio State at 2.5.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I definitely don't think Dobbins is going in the first round. If a running back goes in the first round, it's going to be. I think it should be either Swift or Hilaire, just because of their play styles, but Swift especially because he is a fucking monster.
Yeah. Next up, total Pac-12 players drafted in round 1.
Who fucking cares?
Over under 2.5 on this one.
Justin Herbert's going to go.
He'll go.
Other than that, I honestly don't know any of the players from the Pac-12 because the Pac-12 is a fucking joke.
I think Utah State is in there.
Are they really?
I believe so. I believe so. Double check it, but Utah's in there, right?
I don't know what conference. Hold on.
It's weird, man. The Pac-12 has been so shitty for
Utah State is Mountain West.
They are Mountain West. The Pac-12 has been so shitty for so many years that and their games are on late. The nation doesn't know about them, and I don't see anything on the horizon for these guys to say that they're going to get better either.
Jaylen Johnson from Utah, cornerback, maybe.
So the under is the favorite here. I'm going to bet this just to bet it.
What's the under?
2.5.
Who the fuck else? They don't even have anybody else on the big board.
I know. So I'm gonna take the under on this. Pac-12 is terrible. Now this is a big boy bet, so buckle up on this one. I have not seen an over/under like this in maybe forever, maybe of all time. I'll be as bold as to say as all time. Total SEC players drafted in round 1. You ready for this over/under?
14.
15.5. That's saying half of your picks will be SEC players.
Well,
that's too much. I'm gonna take the under.
2, 3.
And again, you know who might be the tiebreaker in this?
5.
Swift. Might be Swift
Yeah.
again.
7, 8.
Counting aloud.
God damn. 11. 12.
Where?
Oh,
are they
you
at
know,
with this one?
Arizona State has that Ayuk kid. So that would be
that's
2.
the Pac-12, yeah.
That'd be 2, but it's still not 2.5.
Yeah, it's not more than 2.5.
Like, there's
in the
nobody
Pac-12.
else even close. 12.
What do you got in SEC?
12 so far. 13. 14.
Woo.
And DeAndre Swift would be 15.
Okay.
I don't see 15.5. I mean, the next guy from the SEC on the big board would be all the way down at Christian Fulton, and he's like a mid-second round pick.
Yeah.
I don't see it. I would take the under.
Yeah, I'm going to take the under in this one. The next one's fun too, man. Total quarterbacks drafted in the first round. Over-under's 4.
Under.
I like how they didn't put a half on this because I think this is probably a push. It's probably I think Love is going to sneak in there. Tua, Herbert, and then one more.
No. The next guy after them is some dude from fucking Washington. Jaylen Hertz, maybe, if somebody decides to take him. But he's not going to be in the first round.
Look, there's been a lot of talk that he might be.
Hertz is a second or third round pick.
I agree. I think he should be not even in the top 3 rounds. Like that should be a 5th or 6th round pick to me.
But that's not going to happen.
No, dude. People get desperate.
He has so much name ID, too. You can't take a guy like that with a 5th round pick.
So, yeah, you're looking at Tua, Herbert, and Burrow. So that's 3, 4. It's probably a push at 4. Unless somebody gets fucking squirrely and takes Hertz at the end of the first. But it's probably going to be a push, to be honest with you. I got 4 on the dot.
Yeah, I mean, what's the point of betting it? Like, it would take something crazy to make you win that bet, but anything can make you lose it.
Well, with a push, you'll at least get your money back. So I'll take the over of 4 because I know 4 will definitely go. And whether or not somebody gets squirrely and decides to fire on Hertz, like I have heard some rumors of the fucking goddamn Patriots thinking about taking Hertz in the first.
Yeah, but the Patriots aren't drafting a quarterback in the first round. They drafted Tom Brady in the 6th round.
They're
not drafting Jaylen Hertz in the first round. Speaking of New England, Major League Baseball suspends Red Sox replay operator for 1 year and has stripped them of their 2nd round pick this year because of that bullshit.
That's it, huh? I was expecting more than that.
They may as well make them some. I like cheesecake.
Yeah,
big fan of it. There's sugar. I'm not a huge sugar guy, but it's mostly fat, right?
Right.
That's why I like. There's not enough cheesecake. Like that's basically what they're doing. They're giving them cheesecake.
Yeah.
And from my perspective, like if I fucked up, let's say I robbed you and stole all your shit, fucked your wife, and you showed up the next day like, hey, sorry, you lost. You're not getting your 2nd round fantasy football pick.
Yeah.
Like, oh, cool. Sorry about that.
All right. So.
Like, can you imagine being in any kind of competitive league of any sort or just life in general, cheating like that, getting caught, and then their punishment is nothing?
It's crazy to me.
Yeah, fuck these guys. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not mad at Boston fans or anything or Houston fans, but both of those organizations, they should do something like the NCAA does and ban them from postseason play.
Yeah.
For like 5 goddamn years or something.
No, I agree. But they're not going to do that.
And not one player has gotten disciplined.
No, dude.
Not one fucking player. All these players out here right now, and this is the really weird part about it. And I want to talk to Brinkus about this on the show sometime. But after all the Mueller or Mitchell report came out about steroid use and all that shit, all the players who are actually playing above board, if you want to call it that. And again, I'm on record. I don't give a fuck about steroids. Do all the steroids you want. Legalize it for every sport. Let's see how far we can hit the goddamn ball. Yeah. That's what I want to see. But we all agreed to play under these rules. Some people did, some people didn't. Like Ken Griffey Jr. was never linked to steroids or anything. You could tell that he wasn't on it because he would fall asleep in the dugout. Once he became the DH, he was like 33 years old. He's already falling asleep in the dugout and shit.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Wake the fuck up. There's a game going on. He was there's a good story about him. He was supposed to pinch hit, and he was like sleeping in the goddamn locker room or some shit when he was playing for the Reds. But anyways, all those guys that played clean all those years must feel the same, or these guys must feel that way. like everybody else has been playing the game. And look, you try to cut corners where you can. Stealing signs is part of the game. But doing something like that and then trying to cover it up and nobody gets punished for it, what in the fuck, man?
It's crazy, man. It's absolutely
like, what's
crazy.
the point of following the rules?
There isn't. You lose a second-round pick. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, but you personally don't.
Cheat.
You personally don't lose anything.
No.
Except for maybe some fucking clout.
And the scoreboard guy, what is that?
The replay operator.
What does that guy make? You know,
$60,000 a year, maybe. I don't know. I mean,
what the fuck? Next up, we got total running backs drafted in the first round. I'm gonna hammer this over on this. This is 1.5.
I think 2 or 3, maybe even 4. Everybody always gets crazy with these running backs. As soon as it's the same as your fantasy draft. We talked about this to prep for the fantasy draft. Once one asshole makes a jump and draft, like, oh shit, they're drafted running backs. Now we've got to go get this guy because we thought he was. If your whole draft plan is that we're pretty sure this guy is going to be available in the second round, but he's like the number 3 running back.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the number 1 running back gets taken. And you're like, fuck. Now there's 2 teams in front of me that we think want running backs. Now we're fucked, right? That's the same kind of deal.
Yeah.
So people will start taking with their first round pick more, I think.
And this is plus 400 on this. I mean, that is a big boy bet.
It's over 1.5.
Yeah. It's plus 400, man. I'm taking it because I think Swift is definitely in. And then it's going to be up to Taylor, Dobbins, or Hilaire at that point. And I think another one of them sneaks in there. So I'm going to hammer this over and go two running backs in the draft. And the beauty of this is we'll be really drunk by the end of this draft tomorrow night. So when this hits, it'll be a fucking celebration. Celebration, bitches, for the running backs drafted. So I'm amped about this one. Next up is total wide receivers drafted in the first round. Over under is 5.5. And I'm going to take the over. I think it's 6. But it's going to be close. 5 for sure.
I've got 6 if T. Higgins gets in the first round, and I think
so do I. And look, but I don't see a world in which T. Higgins doesn't go in the first round.
No, as a matter of fact, Kuiper's got Green Bay taking him, and I think that'd be a great pick for them.
Same. So I'm going to
now that they actually have a fucking running games. If you get another fucking threat like Higgins alongside Devontae Adams, like you're cooking with gasoline, then, my man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a fucking serious goddamn situation right there.
So I'm going to take the over on 5.5 on running or wide receivers drafted in the first. Total defensive backs drafted in the first round. Over under 6.5. Whew.
This Higgins guy is so underrated.
Oh, yeah.
Just because Clemson is so great and the main focus of them has either been Lawrence or their defense. But he's tied for the record at Clemson for most touchdowns with DeAndre Hopkins and Sammy Watkins. I mean, 2 guys that have proven themselves.
He got a concussion against Ohio State. So, like, don't let those numbers fool you. Ohio State did a really good job of shutting Clemson's offense down, to be honest with you. Besides his fucking called back touchdowns and penalties and shit. But Higgins had a concussion for the majority of that game. He came back in the fourth, so I wouldn't look at those numbers. T. Higgins is great.
Yeah, he is. He could go much higher than that. Yeah, to be honest, I think.
But I'm going to take that.
Safe.
DBs over under 6.5 in this draft. I'm gonna hit the under on this, simply because I think there's some running backs that will sneak in, and I think T. Higgins will sneak in, and that's gonna negate one of these other DBs that you could grab in the second round. So I'm going to take the under on that one. Linebackers drafted in the first round. Over under is 3.5.
Let me check.
Isiah Simmons is in
for sure.
Queen Queen is in from LSU. So that's 2. Who is the third one?
Shazan from LSU. He's actually, and then Murray from Oklahoma is up there. Zach Bond from Wisconsin, who they produce pretty goddamn good linebackers. And then Queen is actually after those 3 guys. So I think.
So Shazan they've got as an edge guy in here. They don't technically have him as a linebacker.
On my bookie, I mean ESPN has him listed as a fucking linebacker.
Yeah, they've got him as an edge here on CBS and my bookie. They've got him. Patrick Queen. Linebacker. Isiah Simmons is listed as a linebacker. And then they've got Kenneth Murray out of Oklahoma on the CBS one. So
Yeah, he's on Kuiper's big board too.
Jordan Brooks is on here. So let's go. Let's take the over on linebackers because, I mean, shit, there's 4 there.
Well, there's Zach Bond from Wisconsin too. He had 12 and a half sacks last year.
Shit, you could have 5 then. So, yeah, I'm gonna take the over on this one for linebackers. Total defensive players drafted in the first round. Over unders 15.5.
What was the 4? No way.
I'm gonna take the under. Yeah.
Yeah, it's no way because of the one thing that'll put, unless there's an outstanding defensive player and there's a couple of them, but there's not that many. They're not going to get taken ahead of, say, like a great offensive. Like if there's an offensive tackle and a defensive end that are the same quality, the offensive tackle is getting taken because they're rarer than a good defensive end. That's just how it is.
And I think the end of the first round is when these running backs and all this other shit goes. Like I'm going to say definitely going to take the under on this one.
Yeah, for sure.
Total offensive players in the draft, and this is over under 16.5.
Under. I think it's 16.
On the dot, huh?
16 and no, that wouldn't work though. It's got to be 17.
So the over is
to make that math make sense. Like if you're gonna bet the under on,
you got to take the
defense.
over on offense, and I'm with you on that. I'm taking the over on this one. Now this is a fun pick just for the end of the draft. What position will Mr. Irrelevant be? Offense or defense? So Mr. Irrelevant is the last pick in the draft itself. That is any man's game at that point. And
well, that's the Chiefs pick, so it's going to be a running back because that's what they need.
That's in the last pick of the 7th round.
Oh, the last pick of the 7th round.
Yes.
I don't even know who has that pick.
It should be the Chiefs unless they traded out of it
or if they lost it somehow. Yeah,
you never know. But this is a coin toss bet. Like if you're at home, don't put any real money on this. Like no one knows this answer, to be honest with you. The only Mr. Irrelevant I can even remember playing and staying on a team for years and years is Ryan Suckup, the kicker.
The Giants have that pick. So who the fuck knows, dude? They may take
coin toss.
They may take one of us.
Do it for fun, yeah.
Those guys don't know
Dan
what the fuck's
draft
going on.
Are you offense or defense though?
Both.
You play both ways.
Yeah, everybody knows that about me.
The Atlanta Falcons first selection, offensive player or defensive player. I'm all in on this one. It's going to be a defensive player. Falcons need defense. Our offense is fine. We got Todd Gurley.
I mean, yeah, I think
we've drafted O-line the last 2 years.
What's that?
It's going to be a defensive player. I'm telling you, it's going to be. They're either going to trade up and get C.J. Henderson. I'd love for them to trade up and get Isiah Simmons or fucking
Simmons would be
Okudah,
great,
or Chase Young. I would love any of those guys.
None of that's going to happen.
No, but I think they'll trade up and get that C.J. Henderson kid.
I think maybe if there
That's
was
what I've heard.
If there was like a great tight end, they may take him, but there's not. And also, I don't think they would find somebody better than Hurst enough to take in a first round slot, right?
Yeah.
Like Hurst is pretty good. They didn't use him very much, but he's pretty good. Like he averages 11 yards per catch.
Yeah.
He's a good player. Speaking of weird stats for tight ends like that, Travis Kelce, like his average in-flight catch is 11 yards, not including yards after the catch. For a tight end, that's fucking crazy.
It's crazy, man.
That's
crazy.
Weird as shit. Like there's no check down pass in the fucking entire Chiefs playbook.
No.
He's
one of the best doing it right now.
They're all the best. Everybody over there.
That team is insane. Next up, we got the Baltimore Ravens, who their first pick will be an offensive or a defensive player.
They've got the 28th pick. Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna say defense.
It's got to be. It's the fucking Ravens.
Yeah.
They're either gonna take defense or offensive line, and is there going to be an offensive lineman that late that's worth the first round pick? I don't think there are. I don't see any offensive lineman hovering around the end of the first round or the beginning of the second, except for Josh Jones from the Bengals, and I think that's a stretch.
If they wanted to sex it up with Hollywood Brown and go T. Higgins, I mean, that would be dope as shit for Lamar Jackson, but they just don't do that. I think they're going to.
I mean, when you say they don't do that, they also have never had Lamar Jackson before, so the possibilities for what they might think is on the table at this point is completely different than when fucking, somebody like Flacco or somebody was there.
Yeah, I mean, look, Suggs is gone, and I'll say defense just because it's the Ravens. Buffalo Bills, and this is any round, first selection, offensive player or defensive player. Their defense is great. Offense,
they don't even have a first-round pick.
no,
They have like
because they traded for Stephon Diggs.
Yeah,
so.
they have pick 54.
Yeah.
Who knows, dude? I wouldn't even.
Singletary is a decent back, but why not get another running back out of there? I don't know who their tight end is, but
I guess it depends on what's available that
yeah.
late.
That's a toss-up, man, because they don't have a first-round pick yet. But I have a great defense, but I'd still lean towards defense, especially if you're trading for Stephon Diggs.
I mean, they have T.J. Yeldon there too. I don't think they're going to draft a running back.
No. Next up, Carolina Panthers, offense or defense. Their first pick, I'm going to say defense. I'm all in on defense on this. They got Bridgewater. They just signed McCaffrey.
Yeah, I think it's a defense.
I think it's going to be defense, probably a linebacker. Bears, offensive player or defensive player. Whew. They traded for Nick Foles. So,
it's like somebody makes a huge mistake, right? I don't know, like giving a quarterback that's never started a regular season a massive amount of money that's guaranteed, and then it doesn't work, and then the Bears are like, oh, we'll fucking do that. Hell yeah, brother. Yeah. You're a fucking dum-dum. Your organization sucks. Sorry, Bears fans, but you guys suck.
I think it's going to be a defensive player, and that's just a gut call. I look at them the same way as the Ravens.
I don't care about the Bears anymore. Until they actually get a fucking real quarterback, I don't care about them.
The next up is the Dallas Cowboys, offensive or defensive player. I'm going to say defense. Look, they backed up the truck for Cooper. They got Ezekiel Elliott, franchise Dak, and they're still trying to work out a deal with him.
Yeah.
Their line is great. I don't know. What are you going to add to that? I mean, I would probably say a defensive back for fucking a DB for the Cowboys. So
they've got defense. They've got the 17 pick. There's a lot of players still left on the board right there. Xavier McKinney from Alabama is still available on the defensive side, but there's some linebackers available too. I don't know where they're going to go with that one.
Yeah. Next up, we got Denver Broncos, offensive or defensive player. I'm going to say offense.
I think the Broncos are taking a wide receiver.
So do I. So we can go ahead and nuke that one down. Detroit Lions, offensive or defensive player. Look, it's going to be Okudah. That would be stupid of them.
Yeah.
And it's minus 900.
Dumber things have happened.
Obviously, yeah, exactly. Look, if you're looking to make some cash, throw some on the offense. It's plus 450 in case that happens. If you believe it, I do not. I think it's going to be Okudah. It's going to be a defensive player. Green Bay Packers, first selection, offensive or defensive player. I go offense as well.
They're going to take either a tackle if the one's available, but more than likely a running back. Or not a running back.
T. Higgins, wide receiver.
A wide receiver, yeah.
No. Aaron Jones is great. Houston Texans, boy. If you're going to bet on who the Texans are going to take first, offensive or defense,
they're going to draft David Carr again.
I don't even think they know who they're.
No,
this has been the worst offseason of any team that I've seen.
There's no way DeAndre Hopkins was a big enough problem in the locker room to warrant what went down this offseason.
None of the players, by the way, said DeAndre Hopkins was a problem in the locker room. Yeah. It was only the coach. So I don't know, man. It's a weird organization. It's been a weird offseason for these guys. Flip a fucking coin on this one. I'm not going to bet it. Indianapolis Colts, offensive or defensive player. I'm going to say offense. I'm going to say offense for the Colts. And that's in any round.
I mean, they don't have a first-round pick, do they?
No, they traded out of it, but at 13. So,
I mean, they could use help all around, but I think they need some.
They were looking for a wide receiver at one point.
Yeah, they've got to go wide receiver, depending on who's on the board then, just because.
You're going running back. I mean, fuck. Unless you believe in Marlon Mack.
Mack's had pretty good years.
Yeah.
But you could still.
Depends on who Phillip Rivers wants, I guess.
Yeah. You know? I'm sure he's got some say in it. I mean, I don't think he would have signed that deal and moved his family, his 9 fucking children, and his wife.
They'll sell out every game next year at the Colts because it'll all be Phillip Rivers' family.
Yeah.
Jacksonville Jaguars, offensive or defensive player. I'm going to say offensive. It would be nice if they got Jerry Jeudy at 9.
I think they're taking Jerry
awesome,
Jeudy.
Man.
I just wonder if
I want to see Minshew succeed.
I wonder how confident they are in Minshew. Like, do they really? Is he really going to be their quarterback?
Traded full, so we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, but so if you just follow that line of reasoning, they're either planning on taking another quarterback, but that wouldn't make sense because you would keep Foles and let him mentor the new quarterback, or they're going to get offensive weapons.
Cam Newton or somebody there's
maybe I don't know. What the fuck is Cam Newton going to do? Wear stupid hats and fucking
that's what I'm saying.
Get hurt? Fuck him.
He's still out there.
I don't know if he even gets signed.
Surprisingly,
I don't know if he gets signed.
Really?
Yeah. Like what's the upside aside from having someone that used to be really good at football?
Why?
I mean, you could go sign O.J. Simpson and get that plus murder. So it's like what?
Yeah, you get two murders.
Yeah.
If I'm the Chargers, man, I would look at Cam Newton. Tyrod Taylor is 90 years old.
I mean, if you want to do it, if you're a team that wants to sign him just to bridge the gap and during your rebuild, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, look, they got a new stadium. Cam Newton would sell some seats in L.A. at least.
Maybe.
So
I don't know if anybody can sell football seats in L.A.
Yeah, certainly not the Rams this year. Fuck, they traded everybody. Jacksonville Jaguars, we already went over. Kansas City Chiefs, offensive player or defensive player. I'm gonna stay with offense and say they go with a running back.
Yeah, I think so.
And that's plus 165. So you wanted some money on that. The Raiders, offensive or defensive player. I'm gonna say offense. I think they're gonna go at wide receiver.
I mean, why wouldn't the Raiders take a quarterback? I guess their first pick might be a little too high because they have 2 first-round picks. They've got that 26th pick, I think.
Who did they bring in? They brought in Mariota. So rumor has it they're going to have an open competition between Mariota and Carr. So I'd wait till next year. Next year is going to be loaded. I mean, look.
Maybe, but you got to suck this year for it to matter next year.
Well, look, if they can't figure it the fuck out, they might as well bomb the rest of this year.
Who else? I mean, I guess it depends on who they take. If the Raiders decide with that 12 pick to take like CeeDee Lamb instead of fucking C.J. Henderson, then you'll know that they're not tanking.
Yeah.
If they take defensive players, I think they're tanking. If they take offensive players, I think they're actually going to try to compete next year.
And I think if CeeDee Lamb is on the board, they'll grab him. The Chargers, offensive or defensive. Look, Chargers need offense. The Rams, besides the Houston Texans, is there another team besides the Rams that had a worse offseason? I mean, they traded their entire team away.
It's funny, these teams that have had bad off seasons are also teams that have historically, particularly with their current rosters and GMs, underperformed for the talent they have on their team. Texans are the fucking best example of that.
Yeah.
Like, they have a mountain of fucking talent over there, and they still can't win games.
Yeah.
At least not in the playoffs. So the Rams are the same. Like, on paper, they look like they should win every single game, except for maybe against the Chiefs. But they lose quite a few games. It's weird. I don't know if it's systemic over there or whatever, but it's interesting to see that they're fucked, not just in their play, but also in their managing. And I think maybe
financially,
there's a correlation. There's a correlation between those two things. It's a bad organization. They need to fire their GM and start all over, because obviously it's not working.
They had to get rid of. I mean, look, they went all in for the last 2 years, and they had to get rid of everybody.
Yeah, but that's like if you're fucking up. Like, let's say you're working for me. You're outside digging a ditch.
Right.
And I am like, hey, man, you're fucking this up. And I give you new parameters. Like, hey, this is what it takes to dig a successful ditch. And I come back out there, and you've, like, just covered yourself in dirt, lying down, and only your arms and head is sticking out of the ground. I'm like, oh, you clearly suck at this.
Yeah.
Just like the Rams front office sucks at being a front office in the NFL. Get rid of them.
I agree. They
had this offseason to fix shit, and they fucked it up. And the Texans are the same. They had this offseason to make a few changes, or at least stay the same and improve a little bit.
They're a playoff winning team. They won a playoff game last year. And they were ahead of the Chiefs 24-0 at one point.
Fucking stupid.
In that game at KC. Miami, first off the board, offense or defense. Obviously, this is Tua.
It'll be Tua or Herbert, one of the two. So it's offense for sure.
Yeah.
What's the line on
minus that? -900. I mean, it's not even worth betting at that point. Bet $10 to win $1 on that. Minnesota Vikings, offense or defense. Whew. Vikings had a weird fucking offseason.
They lost Diggs.
Yeah.
They kind of have to take a fucking wide receiver, don't they?
One would think, but we'll see.
Who's over there right now? Who's left? Adam Thielen, and then who else?
I'm feeling myself.
I guess Kyle Rudolph is
Kyle Rudolph, and
Not
then they
bad.
still got Dalvin Cook there.
Yeah, but they still need another wide receiver.
Yeah. Look, if one of the big boys is around, yeah, get him. But I never know with the Vikings. It's a strange team, man. New England Patriots, offense or defensive player?
Defense.
A lot of rumors that they will take Jaylen Hertz here. That would be a
In the first round, no
shocker.
fucking way.
That's the rumor right now.
When's their second pick?
I don't know, but it's got to be deep second.
23. Oh, they may not even have a second round pick. Yeah, I don't see it. They don't have a second round pick. Maybe. I mean, that would be their only shot to get a quarterback to develop.
So
they trade or something.
Each of these teams going down, the rest of these shitty teams going down is offensive or defensive. Most of the odds are the same, except for the Buccaneers, actually. The Buccaneers is minus 325 for offense. And I'm assuming they're going running back, maybe.
I mean, I would. But you have what's
Unless
their
they love Ronald Jones.
What's their second pick?
So
their first pick is 14. That's an offensive tackle. Their second pick is 45, where they could take a running back. I mean, Kuiper's got them taking Jonathan Taylor at 45. It's going to be, I mean...
They have 900 running backs there.
Yeah, but none of them are any good.
I know.
And I guarantee you that Brady didn't not ask for input on the draft, right?
Yeah.
Like to come down there to Tampa Bay to play football. He's clearly got some say in it. I'm guessing he's going to try to get a fucking running back.
We'll see. We will see. And then, look, going down the line, you can pick the exact pick of when Tua will be drafted. You can pick the exact pick. And all of these are, like, fifth pick is where I think he's going to go, obviously. And that's at plus 150. So you're making some decent coin on that sitch. So I'm going to bet all of these. And I'm going to say Tua goes at 5. When will Chase Young be drafted? The over-under is 2.5. I'll tell you that's going to be the under. He's the second player in the draft.
Can you imagine if he's not?
I mean, that would be.
But it's the Redskins. Again, you're betting on incompetence there.
Yeah.
The Redskins are so fucking stupid. They're I don't know. I like some of those guys, but it's like, God damn, dude.
Jaylen Hertz, you can bet on what round he's going to be drafted. 4 through 7 is plus 600. Round 1 is plus 500. For funsies, I'm going to throw like $25 on the first round, just because I don't know what's going to happen with New England. I don't know what they're doing at all, and
they historically have taken ends, both offensive, defense tackles, and linebackers in the first round. That's their big thing.
No. So look, I'm going to throw some money on Hertz. The second round, by the way, is the favorite on that. It's at 140, minus 140. Who will be the second quarterback drafted? That's a fun one. And this one, Dan, so here's what's strange about this one. Tua is the favorite in this pick at minus 160. So this feeds into your theory that Herbert's going to be drafted ahead of Tua.
Tua's at minus 200 now.
Yeah.
And Herbert is at minus 110.
So that feeds into your theory a little bit.
But if the Dolphins don't take Tua, who does? Like what other team has been?
The Chargers.
Are they really going to take him?
I think so.
Like, why not? If all right, let's get this over with. Like, if you're a Dolphins fan right now, you're just at home praying that something happens. That, like, maybe the GM gets possessed by the devil, and the devil is a big fucking Chargers fan. I don't know what you want, or Dolphins fan rather.
Who will be the third quarterback taken?
The third quarterback taken, probably Jordan Love.
No, because Burrow's at 1. I think Tua and Herbert will go ahead of him. So
maybe, like I said, I don't think there's a lot of confidence in Tua amongst a lot. I think a couple of teams are really confident, and the rest of the teams aren't at all. So I think if he drops below a certain position, he's not going to the first round, which would be really fucking funny, by the way.
Yeah. By the way, they've got Herbert as the favorite on this for the third. So it looks like Vegas is trying to hedge their bets on these two.
Yeah.
These two fuckers. And I get it, man. It's been back and forth. I've heard both. Who will be the third overall pick? You can bet on that. I think it's going to be Okudah. I think that's pretty easy. He's at minus 125. Who's going to be the first running back drafted? This is a good one. DeAndre Swift, Jonathan Taylor, or J.K. Dobbins. You can also take the field on that one. So if you wanted to take Hilaire, you could take the field at plus 600.
I mean, it's got to be homeboy from Georgia, right?
That's what I think. And then I think twos and threes is going to be the tough one, whether it's Taylor, Dobbins, or Hilaire. First wide receiver drafted. CeeDee Lamb and Jerry Jeudy are tied. They're both at minus 120. So that means, by the way, if you're at home and you're like, what the fuck does that mean? If you bet $100, you win 80 on that. And then they got Ruggs at third. That's correct. I'll say Jerry Jeudy goes first, and then CeeDee Lamb goes second in that one. First offensive lineman drafted. I'm going to say it's Tristan Wirfs, actually.
Yeah, he's the favorite. Well, he's not, actually.
No, he's not. That Jedrick Wills is, but I don't know, man. I've heard a lot about this Tristan Wirfs kid out of Iowa. I'm sure Craig Dulesky has as well. More first-round picks here. You can go Big Ten players versus Alabama players. Look, I can tell you that. It's the over-under for that. It's going to be more Big Ten players than Alabama. That's a crazy fucking bet. ACC players versus Pac-12 players. ACC. More first-round picks, LSU or Alabama. I'm going to say, it's a close one. I'm going to say LSU. I'm going to say LSU in that one.
Yeah, probably LSU.
And then we got two more picks left here. You can go more first-round picks, Clemson or Oklahoma. It's going to be Clemson. Oklahoma's got I've got a linebacker in there.
Murray.
No.
But it's only Murray and Lamb.
Clemson, that half player is it's T. Higgins, dude.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm gonna take Clemson over Oklahoma on this one. And then the last prop bets on mybookie.com, promo code Drinkin Bros to double your deposits for this, which we will be live all tomorrow night. More Auburn players or Georgia players drafted in the first round.
Auburn or Georgia?
I know why they put this up here.
Yeah, it's because homeboy is right
Swift,
at the bottom.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I'll say Georgia.
Yeah, I mean I think those running backs are going in the first round, so I gotta bet that.
Yeah. Same. But either way, man, tomorrow night is going to be a blast. It'll be the first sporting event we've had in 2 months now. Has it been 2 months already?
I don't even know what day or week, or I don't know where I am.
I don't either.
This is all nonsense.
I want to say it was the end of February is when they started shutting this shit down, or beginning of March. Who knows, man? Either way, I am amped for tomorrow night. We're getting rocked. That shipment come in? No, it didn't. Come on. So we're looking forward to it, man. Look, we'll go live right around 7 tomorrow night, 7:30ish. Get all your bets in to mybookie.com beforehand, and they will have some live prop bets as this is going on, and I'm looking forward to that. But join Drinkin Bros Sports on Facebook, and I'll actually post like the real bets that we're betting on, because I'm going to be sitting down tonight with a nice handle of something and churning through all of these bets that we just announced on the show, so that way you can actually see what we're betting and what it pays off at. So again, go to mybookie.com, promo code Drinkin Bros for tomorrow night. And we will be live all nights for the entire draft. I'm looking forward to it. I heard there's some surprises tomorrow, and
we'll see.
There's going to be some surprise appearances, I heard.
You mean during the draft?
Correct.
Yes, there will be quite a few.
And then the draft itself, who knows what's going to happen with the technology and all this shit, man. We're just not there yet. I know I've said it 1,000 times, but we're not. And it's like Dan said, man, take a piss. You do whatever. Somebody else has got the phone. Like, what do you I don't think they had time to install landlines into their houses.
I don't know what the fuck's going on there, to be honest.
I don't either. It's going to be a blast.
But, I mean, like the way, I don't know if you know how cellular technology works or satellite, but it's like if it's cloudy, you might have a problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. Join us tomorrow night live on Drinkin Bros podcast on YouTube. Subscribe. For D'Anthony Holloway, I am Ross Patterson. This has been the NFL 2020 Draft Preview Show. Finally, we got some sports back. We'll see you tomorrow night.